good interweb? This is your man Q, aka the Geek, digging through the different kind of archives today, the video game archives, because 1999, on the 9th month, on the 9th day, the Sega Dreamcast released, and the Dreamcast is my favorite Sega system. And why? The RPGs! Now, if you were like me, you got caught into the trap of buying the Dreamcast because of Sega's past success, mainly the Genesis. And just because, it looked really cool with all the new graphics and commercials. And not to mention that damn Sonic game. The new Sonic game looked like Mario 64, but with Sonic. Not to mention, at the time, 1998, 1999, there was no other consoles with that type of power. The Sega Dreamcast was Sega's fourth home console. It released at the end of Japan in 1998 and in North America on November 1999. The Dreamcast, much like the Nintendo 64, supported the use of 4 controller ports for multiplayer gaming. Such games like Power Stone, where you can use anything and break anything, could fight with 4 people without split screen at the same time, was actually implemented here on Sega Dreamcast. The Dreamcast launched at $199 in North America and enjoyed a pretty solid year of sales. That is up until the PlayStation 2 hype started getting more momentum. Now, minus the fact that Sega had great success in the 90s with the Genesis and the Master System, they made more than a few missteps that made a lot of casual fans and core fans a little leery to jumping into a new console, especially with the Sega 32X, Sega CD, and the Sega Saturn, which was actually a really good system, minus the fact that it was overpriced at $399 and the fact that it had no major Sonic game. The Sega Dreamcast launched with Sonic Adventure, which was a fully fleshed out Sonic world. Sega Dreamcast also introduced more than a few new IPs, such as Power Stone, Shenmue, which was one of the first realistic looking RPGs, Crazy Taxi, and Phantasy Star Online, which would be one of the first online games. But with the lack of third-party support and the failures of their last 2 previous home consoles, many gamers and casual fans alike decided to pretty much pass up on this system and wait for the PS2. The Dreamcast graphics and specs were pretty much on par with all of its competitors. It pioneered many functions that modern systems use today, such as the first home console to support online functionality with Sega's network, and it ushered in Sega's first online game, which was Phantasy Star Online, a massively successful online RPG. The Dreamcast also used top-loading memory cards, which were able to be loaded at the top of your controller and were able to be pulled out and used as Tamagotchis, which were little devices that connected to each other where you can grow, battle, and share different creatures, abilities, and functionalities. Although it had a few solid titles and ushered in a new generation of consoles, the Dreamcast was sadly marked the end of an era and was Sega's last attempt to create a home console. And although it's been rumored more than a few occasions that Sega would jump back into the home console market, that's highly unlikely. After acquiring certain companies like Atlas, Sega is actually pretty content with becoming a third-party company and enjoying a lot of mass success in Japan with the arcade circuit. But that's all I got for you today, interweb. This has been your man Q, aka the Geek. If you did like the video, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with not just RPGs, but a lot of RPGs, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. I make geekly content here on the channel all the time. You can also find me over on Twitch, and
don't forget to check out the archives.
Peace!